There's more evidence indicating that the new LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga is getting closer to release. Finally! TT Games look like they're getting ready to move on to their next project and are ramping things up behind the scenes with the next one. It looks like they've been working on this for a little while, but TT Games have just put up another job listing for a new LEGO project. The video games industry analyst Maro NL just tweeted this out, and the job listing actually gives us some details about what the game might actually be about. And it's some exciting stuff. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, it's Andrew. The new project is, of course, a LEGO game being built in Unreal Engine and is being based on a major IP. And there's also some indication that the game will be an online multiplayer title. All right, so let's unpack all of this. It's a LEGO game. Obviously, TT Games haven't made a game that's not about LEGO in over 10 years, pretty much relying on the LEGO license right now. And the fact the game is being built in Unreal Engine, I think, is a huge step forward for TT Games. As far as I know, they build all their games in an in-house engine, one they design themselves that's created entirely within TT Games. The Skywalker Saga is being built in an entirely new engine, so it seems like for this project, this next one, they're moving away from that and opting to work in an engine that's much more common. Jedi Fallen Order was built in Unreal Engine, along with Fortnite, so many others, the new Hogwarts Legacy, also in Unreal. It's super popular in the gaming industry and is capable of so much. It looks stunning, look at this, incredible. And from a developer's perspective, it's reliable. It's becoming the industry standard, it seems, in a lot of ways. So I think it's likely this new LEGO game will also be built in Unreal Engine 5, which is the latest version. It's still in early access at the moment, but a lot of developers will be shifting to the more powerful tool suite within the coming years. Now, TT Games are still busy putting the finishing touches on the Skywalker Saga, but obviously they're planning ahead and they're planning to move on to the next project. So I think it's likely this next new project will still be a while off. The game will be focused on a major IP. Now, I'm going to go ahead and assume it's an IP TT Games have already worked with. I mean, they've covered nearly every major franchise, from Star Wars to Harry Potter, Indiana Jones, Marvel, DC, Jurassic Park. How many major IPs are left? Lord of the Rings, they've done them all. So it'll be another LEGO game based on a big franchise. One of these, I think, is most likely. But there's also some evidence indicating the game will feature online play, which is kind of a big deal for LEGO games. The job description states a few roles for the employee that I think are worth noting. Here we go. Work on the AI systems required to create fun, networked enemy AI, party AI, and boss AI. So already there's a mention of networked play and how you interact with someone in an online space and an enemy. Next, write fun, networked player mechanics, so being able to interact with other characters and other players online, and write reusable gameplay systems that will allow the designer to populate the hubs with fun networked gameplay. So again, we all know LEGO games are very based on the hub worlds, and exploring these hubs, they evolve and change as you progress through the game depending on what part of it you're up to. We're going to see a lot of this in the Skywalker Saga and the evolution of the open world as you progress through each film. So it seems like you'll be able to meet up with other players in the hub world, go exploring, say hi, hang out, and interact with them through a bunch of activities and other fun stuff. All right, so a lot pointing towards online compatibility, which is something LEGO have never really done on a major scale with big IPs and their big titles. As far as I know, LEGO Worlds is one of the only online LEGO games that has online connectivity, has co-op and PvP modes, but searching for another LEGO game you can play online with your friends is a hard task because there really aren't that many out there, which is kind of strange for LEGO games. So many of them are built with, you know, the co-op mode, but they're all couch co-op, and unless you're using software like Parsec or like Steam's Remote Play, there's no real way of playing with your friends. I think it makes a lot of sense, the fact they're building an online game as well, especially in this day and age where, you know, everyone's at home. It's the right step forward for these kinds of games. I've always found it really strange that LEGO games don't have online support. I mean, this is easily one of the most requested features for each release, and I guess the reason TT Games have rarely put multiplayer in their games is because of how it complicates things. I mean, up until last year, they released at least one LEGO game each year for 15 years. What an incredible run, and the Skywalker Saga, of course, getting delayed ended that run. So with each of these new games, they had to build a new hub world, new models, levels, and everything. So sure, it makes things easier that everything's based on LEGO models, but it's still a huge task building one giant LEGO game per year with the amount of content included in these games. And I think that's why TT Games are yet to make make the push into online gaming, because that would add a whole nother layer of complexities and makes things a lot more difficult, a lot more complicated, and be much harder to achieve on a yearly basis, a yearly game with multiplayer support like this. It's not like they're designing, you know, a new Call of Duty game or a FIFA game or something like that with the same base gameplay mechanics. The LEGO games go a bit further. There's the story elements to consider, there's the world design, there's so much that go into these. And I think TT Games' approach to making games is kind of old school in this sense. They could build a single player couch co-op game each year for more than a decade because that's what they were solely focused on, the single player approach, a story game, the hub world with new characters and missions. And I mean, their template for making games has basically been the same since the original LEGO Star Wars released in 2005, and that's kind of what's made it so brilliant. That's what made LEGO games so enjoyable over this time. They found the perfect formula for the game and they've evolved that. The way the original LEGO Star Wars worked was genius. The hub world, the idea of that you could enter each mission from the hub, play through 5 missions per film with an entire focus on the prequels. And they've taken this basic formula and evolved it over the past 15 years to give us what we have today in LEGO gaming. But even the new LEGO games still basically run off the same template as the original LEGO Star Wars, with that idea of the hub world and unlocking characters as you go. Moving further into this next decade, I think TT Games will begin to make a push into online multiplayer, especially with more people being stuck at home nowadays. They can't afford to build their games as couch co-op multiplayer only titles. You know, you can't invite your poor invisible friend over sitting next to you on the couch. What are you going to do? Can't be there, can't be in the same room, can't do hologram recordings, and you're not going to stream it to someone using Parsec or Steam Power Play, whatever it's called. You're not going to do it. You want online. You want to make it easy, and I think as a result of kind of the way the world is at the moment, they're going to want to make a push for that. As far as we know, the new LEGO Star Wars won't have any online features, but I mean, who knows? Perhaps this is something they've been working on behind the scenes. Perhaps that was part of the reason why they delayed it. Perhaps they wanted to build multiplayer into the game so we can play it with our friends while stuck at home. That'd be sweet. I've always said so many people agree the LEGO games are best experienced with a couch co-op buddy or, you know, in co-op, in multiplayer. So the fact so many people can't play these games like this now is a huge problem for TT Games, and perhaps they're looking to solve that. They're obviously doing that with this next game. We'll have to wait and see if it's included in the Skywalker Saga though. And this actually isn't the first time we've heard about this new project. Back in November 2020, there was another listing, a few listings with the same description. So it seems like TT Games are looking to get more of their devs involved in this new project. They're staffing up, and that's been in the schedule for quite some time. I wonder how many years ahead they're making these licensing deals and planning which games they'll be making next. I'm sure it's ages in advance, but this one's probably been in the pipeline for quite some time. I really love the idea that they're moving towards a multiplayer approach, or at least some online elements, it seems. But I'd love to know what you think this next LEGO game will be about. Could it even be another Star Wars game? I don't think they'd release 2 in a row, considering the size of the Skywalker Saga, but who knows? Oh, and do you think the Skywalker Saga will have online multiplayer? Let me know in the comments. And for more on LEGO Star Wars, you can watch one of these videos here, and head over to my Twitter, Instagram, and join my Discord. I'll be posting the latest on LEGO Star Wars news as it drops and everything else Star Wars and Star Wars gaming. And thanks for watching this. My name's Andrew. I'll catch you soon.
Stay bombastic.